Good morning. It is 9:41. Welcome back to Great Day for this Thursday, 16th of April. As we welcome to the desk Brett Roske, for it is time for Roske on Politics.
Hello, everybody. Big week here for Iowa politics, huh?
Yeah.
Holy buckets. Well, as we know, we had a very special guest in town this week. Let's show a quick photograph. So this is from Secretary Hillary Clinton was visiting town. And you will see sometime.
There it is.
So that is in a lovely little town called Mount Vernon, Iowa.
That's where I went to school. Yeah.
Lou and I are very familiar.
Oh, are you really? Yeah. Do you know Mount
I
Vernon?
used to manage the theater there.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Well, so this is right in front of the Fuel Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
So so close to where you guys were? Is that? I mean, it's a lovely little town.
I was down the road a piece over at Cornell.
Basically you'll see some of that footage of. I was chatting with some of the folks who got to meet her there in Mount Vernon. Basically, she did the event at Kirkwood College, which is in Monticello, and then drove to Mount Vernon. And it was amazing to see this town. Who about 4 people in Mount Vernon knew she was coming. Literally 4. To see the town wake up and all of a sudden doors opening, and I chat with 2 people. They're still in their scrubs. They're dental assistants.
No way.
So I don't know if they still had someone on the chair, like passed on or what. But she was going to the Fuel Coffee Shop, and right next door is the dentist they were working at, and they just heard Hillary Clinton's here, so they just walked over. They were taking off the face masks and everything. And I said, well, how did you hear about it? And they said, well, someone came in to use the fax machine. I was like, what?
They still have a fax machine?
I know. I don't know. The Hillary Clinton folks needed the fax machine.
That's how people know in small towns.
So, well, and then another guy we were chatting with, because in about the space of about maybe 6 or 7 minutes, there was probably 30 or 40 people there waiting in front of the coffee shop, because she got out of the van, chatted with me, straight into the coffee shop. I mean, it was like a gap in there. It was a moving conversation. Not a dramatic moving. It was we were moving.
Mobile. You were mobile.
It was a mobile conversation. But I asked one guy, I said, well, how'd you hear about it? He goes, well, it's a small town. I was at the top of the block, and I just heard the conversation.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. So anyway, so that was, it was.
So what were you able to get out in your moving conversation with Hillary?
You'll find out.
Oh, man.
TBD. Not for disclosure.
So what did you think of Scooby the van?
Well, you know, Scooby van is a little bit more elaborate than that. This is a Secret Service equipped vehicle. There were actually 2 of them, and now that she's gone, I will tell you that they were identical.
So you didn't know which one she was in?
Except the license plates. One was the white New York plate, and one was the orange New York plate. So, you know, I was told that she would be in the orange-plated van, which she was. Anyway, so it was interesting. So it wasn't exactly the jalopy on Monday's show.
We showed
slightly different.
Wasn't the magical mystery machine?
Slightly different than that. But I thought since Hillary has certainly received her share of coverage this week, and hats off to her for doing what I think was a really admirable first swing to the state. She attempted and succeeded in doing small events with key people, including former Lieutenant Governor Patty Judge, who we've had on the show. It's broadcast once, and I have an interview from her Polk County Democrat dinner that we haven't shown yet. But she did, in fact, just meet with key folks around the state, and then yesterday I was at the legislature. And a shout out to Patrick Reinhard at Iowa Starting Line, which is a blog right now. And Patrick was in some of the things that I wasn't in, and we did a video share, so you'll be seeing more of that Sunday morning, and then I'll be showing it here next week.
So we're wondering, with her doing more of an average person feel of the beginning of her campaign, would she be willing to come on a show like this? Because she's wanting to reach out to people in more of an
and talk in a more open forum.
In more of a low-key way, such as what we provide here.
I am in discussion with her top-level communications team on some very intimate things. So if that happens, I will figure out a way to make it Great Day-centric. Because I love you guys, love your show. And congratulations on 3 years.
Yay!
You know, Ted Stevens, who I've fallen madly in love with, was telling me some of the beginnings of the show here. And it's just, I love this show. And I love what you guys do. Best guy I've ever worked
for. Great guy.
So thank you for that.
We'll show you that in a little bit.
But we're running out of time here. We got since Secretary Clinton got a lot of coverage this week, I thought we'd take a little slightly different direction on a different event that happened Tuesday, which was David Axelrod was in town with Chet Culver. Chet Culver's father wrote this book, the quintessential book on Henry Wallace. If you haven't read it, it's called American Dreamer, and it's really quite good. It not only talks about our Des Moines vice president, but talks about the fact that he actually was going to be on the nominee. He was supposed to be the vice president for the term after his as well. And fascinating peek into the Chicago Convention and how they rigged him and got him out of the thing. And then it was Truman, and then Roosevelt died, and then there was a nuclear bomb. And
right.
so,
oh, interesting.
Fascinating book. But this gentleman, John Culver's father, Senator John Culver's son, I should say, is former Governor Chet Culver, who I chatted with at the David Axelrod event. Let's take a look. Here with former Governor Chet Culver. So how fun is it that this is the Culver Institute and named after your father, but you are here tonight, David Axelrod. What's your experience with David in the past?
Well, as he said in his remarks tonight, we met 25 years ago when I was a young campaign staffer working for Bonnie Campbell during her run for Attorney General, 1990. So we've been in touch over the years, and our paths have crossed many times, and it was just great to have him here tonight.
So obviously David Axelrod ran Obama's campaign. You were in Iowa at the time. How important do you think winning the caucus was to President Obama winning the presidency?
Oh, it made all the difference. It really gave him the momentum he needed to get all the way to the White House. And, you know, I think the great thing about the caucuses is it gives every candidate on both sides of the aisle a real open opportunity, a fair shot at coming to our state and making their case. And it's really healthy for our democratic process. And we're seeing that again today with Secretary Clinton coming to town to kick off her campaign.
We were actually with Secretary Clinton in Mount Vernon, and it was amazing to see. She pulls into this small town, and the town just came alive. Thinking back over your time in Iowa, what are some of the special caucus stories you can remember of some of that magic that the caucus brings to the state?
Well, most recently, the caucuses in 2008, when we saw the Obama machine really get the vote out and new people coming into the political process. I remember at my precinct there near Terrace Hill at the old Tech High School, people just literally coming out of the woodwork. I mean, the room was packed, and people just kept coming in and wanting to be a part of this exciting campaign for president. So a lot of fond memories of the different caucuses that I've attended and participated in, and expect we'll have some fun ones coming up in 2016 as well.
So I was chatting with your Lieutenant Governor, Miss Patty Judge, and she's been on the show a couple times. She mentioned you're thinking about a congressional run. Where are your thoughts at right now?
Well, I'm really enjoying being a full-time dad. You know, I have a 12-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter, and haven't missed a swim meet or a basketball tournament for several years now, and we'll see what the future holds. As David said tonight, you know, you never know for sure what can happen in the political arena, and I just want to be a part of it, whether that's as a private citizen or as an elected official down the road. We'll just see.
So, and real quick, we're going to jump into the next clip. That was the David Axelrod event. Mr. Axelrod was in town talking about his new book called Believer, and I got to chat with him after his speech. Let's take a look. Congratulations on your new book.
Thank you.
So if you had to tell it to someone who hasn't read it yet, hasn't had a chance to pick it up, what would you describe the book, sir?
Well, I would describe it by saying it's the story of how my idealism survived 40 years in politics. I've been at this most of my life as a reporter and as a strategist, and I still believe deeply in the meaning of it and the value of it, and I wanted to convey that.
So the Iowa caucus race is ramping up. We were with Secretary Hillary Clinton earlier today. How important, because you were obviously in the front, in the trenches, how important was winning the Iowa caucus to President Obama winning that office?
Oh, I think it was essential. If he had not won the Iowa caucuses, I'm pretty well convinced that we couldn't have been the nominee. Everything in that race, we bet on Iowa. He spent 83 days here in 2007. The National Press Corps was ridiculing us for ignoring the rest of the country and putting our bet on Iowa, and Iowa came through.
And the importance of the caucus race in this upcoming election, where would you put it, more or less than in the past?
Well, obviously on the Republican side, I think it's going to be very important in the sense that there's no real clarity in that race, and it'll be the first contest in which the candidates will be competing in a measurable way. On the Democratic side, you know, I don't know who will end up running and who won't end up running. Obviously, there's a clear leader in that race, but she's going to have to work for the vote. Here in Iowa, people don't. They don't want to be taken for granted, and it's pretty clear from the way she's starting off that she understands that too.
You'll see more of that, plus Secretary Clinton's visit to Iowa this Sunday, 11:30, right here on Roske on Politics. Great seeing you guys, and happy birthday again.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Yeah.
We'll be right back, folks. It is 9:52. You're watching Great Day Live on KCWI.